the U.S. National Committee for Soil Sciences is the adhering body to the International Union of Soil Sciences. So this particular committee interacts with soil scientists all around the country, looks at the major issues that we're facing in soil science, but also internationally, and then assures that these particular topics will be addressed within the International Union of Soil Sciences.
I think the main duty of the U.S. National Committee on Soils is to represent the area of soils and the nation's scientists to the Academy and internationally. There's several reasons for this. Soil is extremely complex, and there are numerous scientists that are involved in the study of soils, from biologists to engineers. And the U.S. National Committee does a really good job of internationally connecting these scientists with other scientists in emerging disciplines.
Well, it's a very basic role of informing the public on the importance of soil science and the advances of soil science, both the scientific public within the Academy and the general public.
I think right now soil ecology and soil science are probably the best field to be in. There's so much new knowledge coming along, and so one of them, for example, is the area I study, which is soil biodiversity, how it relates to ecosystem function, how the organisms in soil support our everyday lives, our health, the food we eat, what we drink. It's a pretty amazing area of science.
The one I focus most on is as a source of food security, to make sure that the world can feed itself by mid-century with 9 or 10 billion people. That's still a big challenge, particularly in Africa, and that is now also shifting into nutrition security, which means micronutrients and vitamins, and not only calories. That's one. Then soils as a regulator for climate change, and how can soils sequester more carbon from the atmosphere down and minimize the emissions of carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases from the soil up, both. Very big role in water regulation. Basically all our water goes through soils, and the importance of using water most efficiently. And today we've learned a couple of things that I didn't know. The soil as a basis of infrastructure projects, because most of the materials apparently used in all sorts of infrastructures are soils, actually. So that's a very exciting thing, especially nowadays with hopefully the emphasis on infrastructure in this country and other ones, and the relationship between soils and human health, the problems with some specific diseases, the problem with one micronutrient that I'm very scared of, which is iodine deficiency. Does a lot of harm to kids in their IQs that are not reversible.
I think the study of soils has never been more important, because if we look at all these major challenges that we're facing today in terms of climate change, in terms of sea level rise, in terms of contamination, food insecurity, infrastructure needs, national and international security, soils are at the middle of every one of those topics. And so for sustainability of the environment, for sustainability of humankind, the soils are absolutely paramount.
Well, it's basic. One reason we're not on Mars or on the moon right now is that there are no soils there.
A lot of our health comes from what happens to soils when we think of the dust storms that are being created now. From our misuse of soils, that impacts human health. And so I guess one of my favorite quotes is that we can't eat drink clean water or be healthy if we don't pay attention to our soils.